Hello, everyone. Welcome to Flame On. I am Bryan. I am here with the streaming, video game playing, I don't know what else, queen herself, Miss Aphasia. How are you, dear?
I am fantastic. How are you doing today, Bryan?
I am fantastic talking to you. And it's so nice talking to you this way because normally when you're streaming on Twitch, usually I am just furiously typing at you. So that's always nice. So, full disclosure, I met this lovely queen out of drag
Yes.
at least a year ago. It may have been a little over
Yeah.
that.
I think it's like a just under 2 years, I think.
Yeah, it's probably because so my boyfriend Brandon has worked with Aphasia out of drag. Are you disclosing your boy name?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Justin. So both of you worked. I will put in the past tense right now because COVID
Yeah.
and nonsense
Yeah.
for the Absinthe show in Vegas.
Yes.
And then I got to meet you briefly there, but then I got to have a lovely evening with you in Orlando because you also do tech support for conventions.
Yes, that's correct.
Which also right now is, COVID,
Kaput.
right?
Yeah. Both of my jobs died on the same day. Like, it's crazy.
Which is then the reason, I mean, not the reason you got into drag. We'll talk about that. But the reason that I think you sort of took the opportunity to bring your love of gaming to the internet through Twitch.
Yes, exactly.
So tell me about that. Tell me about how and why you decided, I like to play this. Let's do this. Like what brought you to brand yourself online as a drag queen who games?
Well, it's funny actually because every time I play games with my friends online, like Overwatch and things like that, they're like I have these crazy commentaries all the time. Like I'm basically talking to myself whenever I play my games. I do it anyways. So my friends are like, "You're so funny. Why don't you stream?" And I'm like, "You right. I should." And then I never had because I didn't have a PC or had really bad internet or I couldn't my laptop, even though I could stream from my PS4 was really bad. And funnily enough, this quarantine gave me the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not working. I have a lot saved up in the bank. Fuck it. We're gonna build I built my PC myself with the help a couple of my friends. One friend who knew what he was doing, the other friends was there just to hang out. Built my PC a couple months ago. I was like, great, perfect. Now I guess I got to stream. And so it took another month and a half to get all of the pieces in that I needed to start streaming. And then when I did, it was just like, okay, we're doing this. Let's go. And then I have a friend who streams as well. Her name is Kiyoshi Yorha. You know her as Kiyo. You met Kiyo briefly.
Yep.
She was streaming for about, I think I want to say 7 or 8 months now. And so when I started, I was like, girl, I need all the help that you can give me. There was so much, so overwhelming at first. It's what I got to worry about first? I need to make sure my game looks good, I look good, if I have the camera, make sure everything runs smoothly. And it was very you know, right? Because you've been streaming smalls here and there too, and it's just so much. And so finally, I was like, you know what? I just sat down one day, did it. And then I was like, okay, well, now I'm going to stream in drag because that was the whole point in the first place. Because, I can't go out to do all of this. So I was like, we'll just do it online. And the reception has been so great. The community, the LGBT plus community on Twitch is so welcoming. They're so fun. And I get to sit there and do stupid shit every single night. People just love it. And I'm like, great. Thank you for coming to the shit show that is this currently.
It is so remarkable, though, because, like you said, so there's so much you said there that I agree with and have experienced in some small way. Learning how to stream, even if you're a gamer, even if you, like myself, have built my own computers, even if I understand computer science, learning how to stream on Twitch in a way that is not just fumbling about, like a hot mess, which I still do.
Oh, my God.
It's so hard. There's so much. In fact, so much so that Twitch has got that boot camp. Did you ever do that? That little
no.
You just talk to your friends and
yeah, basically. I looked at 2 or 3 videos, just like the title. I was like, oh, I know how to do that. Oh, I know how to do that. Okay, and then like YouTube, oh my god, is a godsend because I learned basically everything on YouTube.
Did you speaking of YouTube and learning things, did you use YouTube to do any of your drag makeup development?
Oh my god, yes. So I started with, of course, like Drag Race, right? So way back when like All Stars 1, like Latrice was like, here's my like look tutorial. And, like Latrice was like a huge influence in like me doing drag in general. Because I was like, damn, someone who looks like me doing this and doing very well for themselves, you know? And so I started watching her videos, how she did her makeup. And then like throughout the seasons, I'm like, okay, I really like this queen, how they did their makeup, this queen, how they did their makeup. Like I watched, oh my God, I watched one of Milk's videos like 700 times. I love Milk's looks. Yes. I was sitting here at home, it was like years ago, and I had like a cream palette. So just like bright colors, you know, cream based, like face paints basically. And that's what she used. And I was like, well, let's try to do some of this. And then some crazy shit came out. I hated it, but like, at least I tried. And then I don't know, just like, I spent hours and hours looking at these videos and like doing it myself. So, and I get this beautiful face today. So
you look fabulous. I appreciate the teeth, especially.
Yeah, this spooky season I had to.
As we approach All Hallows here in a few weeks, I think that's a very appropriate look. I have my fall I'm a bottom for autumn shirt on. Make that out.
I didn't see that earlier. Oh my gosh.
This shirt gets out like, basically in the month of October and maybe November, depending on where I'm at. Mm-hmm. But it's also nice because I'm not used to needing sleeves as early as, late September, October. Occasionally, I'm from Florida, right? Occasionally it dips a little bit, but up here in Seattle, it's like, it's been sleeve weather, honestly, for a couple weeks or a month now. But
that sounds nice. That sounds
nice. Compared to Vegas, which we were just talking before we started, the temperature is right now
like 93, and it's like 610 or something like that. It's crazy.
Gross. No, never ever again. So drag is interesting, and like a lot of queens, and it's so funny because as much as I have issues, and I'm sure we should talk about Drag Race and its issues. It has literally spawned I would go as far as say 1,000 or thousands even of queens, whether they're queens that perform on the stage, in front of their cameras on Instagram, in front of their cameras for Twitch, or just for their own edification, just to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm learning more about that world, not the Drag Race world, but like the YouTube makeup tutorial world. Just seeing all of the
like the beauty bloggers and whatnot. Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Do you watch Trixie's? Have you seen her? She brings some of those personalities.
Yes. Like, I love Trixie. Like, she is top 5, I would say, Drag Race queens for me. Okay, and it's a very tough top 5. But I watch all of her videos not just because not for the makeup itself, but because she's so funny and so weird. Yes. I'm I absolutely love that she's being genuinely herself, and it's just she's filming now in her bedroom by herself.
Well, with her boyfriend mostly.
With her boyfriend, yeah. But I think she has a couple episodes. She's no one's here. I'm talking to myself. Just it's just a surreal moment. And I'm that's hilarious. And when I watch all these Nikki tutorials who just came out earlier this year, was outed as trans. Yeah.
Well, so do you watch Drag Race Holland?
I haven't seen it yet, but I know she's on the second episode.
It was interesting. It was very good. There was not a lot. I mean, she's a judge, but it was interesting to hear about her and then see her on Drag Race Holland. But talking about that, and the queens, several of the queens were like, "Oh my God, I've learned so much from you." Blah blah blah. Blah.
Oh my God, yes.
So that's so fascinating.
So much from her.
It's so interesting because makeup is a huge industry for women over however long it's been around.
Mm-hmm.
And yet for drag, it had been sort of this mentor apprenticeship kind of situation where a drag mother would take on drag daughters, and that they would teach them, after they would come to the club with like their own best face, and it was like shit show, and they were the drag mother would be like, honey, okay, let's. But like now you have these queens, and I don't know, do you have a drag mother?
I don't.
So you're an example. You're like in the immaculate birth, right?
Basically.
So there's so many of these queens that have like basically just been their own drag mother or virtual drag mothers through like Trixie or Latrice or God, any not Pearl, Milk. I always do that. Pearl and Milk to me are like one neuron apart, right?
They're
totally different personalities, but
they're different people. But like, I feel like if you just like toned up or down one of them, they're the same person.
I mean, their drag aesthetic is completely different, so they're totally different. But it's just great. It's great now because again, like someone like yourself can just say, you know what, I want to do drag. I'm going to go off, spend some money, spend a lot of time, and do your thing.
So a lot of money too.
Well,
so much fucking money on makeup. Oh my god.
I'm learning about that too, just how expensive makeup is.
It's so stupid.
So before the shutdown, because you have been doing drag for what, a year or two?
Honestly, I started December of last year when we came down for our Christmas party. That was like my first second real big time in drag.
I was gonna say I was there for your first outing.
You were. My first time was 2010, 2011 Halloween party in Disneyland. I went as Ursula. So I had a corset. My friend helped me make just tentacle dress skirt thingy, and I had a wig that went up like this. I had the necklace. It was everything. It was Well, no, it was bad. It was so bad. But that was my first time out. And then I had a friend who still worked there after I had finished working there, and she worked on Indiana Jones ride, and she was like, "Hey, you went to the Halloween party as Ursula, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, so I think my coworker's talking about you." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well," she's working Indiana Jones. She saw this fabulous black drag queen walk up looking like Ursula. She had the laugh down, and she was so great and jovial. And she absolutely loved her. And I was like, I think that's me. I don't know. I see any other black drag queens out there that day. So I guess thank you. And so that's the personality that I give off, or I want to give off. It's just very happy and welcoming opening. Not particularly today with this goth vampire look, but you get it.
I like the dichotomy of coming across very spooky and sort of cat-like or vampire-like or whatever, goth girl-like, but then having a bubbly personality. I like that dichotomy. Yes. So it works. So you did drag that one time, and then you said at the Christmas party, and then I believe I understood that you were potentially going to work with a club. Was there something you guys had?
Okay, yeah. So there's one of the local clubs down here before everything shut down. Obviously, had a competition going starting in January. It's called "So You Think You Can Drag" or something like that, and so. The first one is the first Saturday of each month, basically at the club. And I couldn't go to the first month because I was like, damn, I had to work that day. And I couldn't get the day off because I found out about such late notice. So the following month in February, I remember the day exactly. It was February 1st. It was the day before the Super Bowl. And I was working my convention job. And I was like, I got to go do this thing, but I got to be up at work next morning at 6 a.m. So I was like, it doesn't start till 11 because gays don't start anything until late. And so I was like, okay, great. So I'm gonna go anyway. So one of my coworkers, she came over because I got out. My job gives me a hotel room so I can stay close, not to drive back and forth. So I was staying at the hotel room. My friends came over. She helped me get everything together, get in drag, and we went to the club. And Kiyoshi was there actually because Kiyoshi did the month before. She didn't win, so she's doing it this month. And so I'm like, I'm here. Let's do this. I let all my friends know. And then how it works is it's all the queens come. You bring your number, and we all pick numbers out of a hat. And whatever number you get, the number you're gonna go in order. Okay. I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to go early because I'm super nervous because I'm used to performing, being quiet choir and band and shit like that in high school, but like this is a totally different beast, you know. And so I was like, whatever. So I just don't want to go. I don't want to go like top first 5. I pulled number 2. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going second. And I went out there, and it was all just like a blur. And then the next round happened, just like you spin a wheel and you do a random song on the wheel, right? So there's a male presenting song and a female presenting song on there for you to lip sync to. And I spin the wheel, and it landed on Born This Way or Tainted Love. And one of the queens earlier, her song was Born This Way that she brought in with her. And I was like, that's rude. I'm not going to do that to her. So let's do Tainted Love. And so the song starts, and it's the Marilyn Manson version of Tainted Love.
No.
And I was like, oh my God. My teeth fell out. Whatever, I'm taking them out right now. Whatever.
It's because you mentioned Marilyn. That's the problem.
Right? And so I was like I know the song, right? But I know Tainted Love, the original song.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can only imagine what this is going to sound like. So I'll just go with the flow. And let me tell you, when I tore the house down with this number, I ran around that bar, threw off my shoes, spun around, threw my wig off. I was like rolling around. I like smeared all my makeup on my face. And it was like, it was a moment. And it was so good. And I was like, all right. And then like I have not heard the crowd cheer that loud until that point in the night. And I was like, oh, am I about to fucking win this shit? Or at least get like top 3. Because there's some fierce queens there. And so I was like, okay. And so then it ended, and, you know, everyone was done. And then they calculated, you know, like audience like cheers. And I won first place in my first ever drag competition.
Which club was this?
This was Badlands Bar in Vegas.
Okay, so I don't think I went to that one. I've only been to like a handful.
Yeah, it's right next to the green door. So if you ever, it's right next door.
So okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And so
yes,
the deal was like, if you win that, then they potentially could bring you back for like.
Yeah. So what the thing is, like, a winner from each month goes to the finals in December, and then those 12 winners, because it's beginning of December and then the end of December, like right before New Year starts. So the winner of that gets like $1,500, and then a spot to host at the bar. And I was like, work. Okay, great. So I'm so glad I won this in February. So I have all year to plan out for everything. And so then March came around, then Kiyoshi won in March. And so I was like, great, we're together. We're officially like drag rivals now. Fantastic. And then 15 days later, Rona happened. So
yeah. Is the bar still open?
I believe so. Yes, I think because all the bars just reopened in Vegas like a week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Oh. So they're all officially open now.
Because I mean, the casinos have been open for a while, but
yeah, they really shouldn't be, because our numbers spiked because everyone from out of town was bringing it with them.
Shocker.
Yeah, and then I think it was like 1,500 people at the Wynn, like workers had it. Like, what? Anyway, I digress.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about COVID, I'm sure, at some point. It tends to come up in these things. But so in theory, potentially, maybe, they still have these finals, and there's a lot less competition. maybe.
I mean, like, I feel like if they wanted to, they can probably start back up towards the end of this month. Because a lot of the clubs out here, like the bar restaurants out here, basically, that have, you know, food. It's a restaurant which just happened to be with a bar there. So when they had reopened the restaurants, it was, you know, limited seating only, reservation. You have to make a reservation at these places, or takeout only. And so the bar, you can sit at the bar, but you can still order drinks. And so some of the ones out here, like the Phoenix, they still had stuff going on there, and so did I can't remember the other bar, but a couple other bars out here were still operating like for the past like 2 or 3 months. And so maybe like they could start doing that then, or at these other places. I'm not sure, but if I don't have any more competition, then I'll just take the 3 people. I mean,
yeah, I mean that's all you need. I mean, you
that's all I need.
You got a competition,
right? I can always throw some pearls on the dance floor.
Oh my god! So I didn't even know that reference really until Brandon made me watch. What's that? What's the movie? Showgirls.
Yes.
I had no idea. I knew a little bit about Showgirls, but I never watched it. And then people had made that reference, and I think it just completely like went over my head or something. Anyway, yeah. So now I get it. And yes,
such a good movie. It's such a bad movie, but it's a good movie.
It is. And did you know that there's a sequel?
I did know there's going to be a sequel. And what's your face is still in it, right?
There is a sequel.
Is already?
It's a really bad sequel.
Oh,
it's a sequel that stars the blonde that was dancing, not the main star, but I forgot her name. But she and then the choreographer, it's like a continuation of their story.
Oh.
It's horrible. We watched maybe 15, 20 minutes of it, kind of zipping around. I'll find a link and send it to you.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a thing. So anyway, let's talk.
I hate that.
Well, no, I love that because I love that like random shit like that exists and that nobody knows because they're so like, whatever.
And then you're like, let me show you this hot pile of garbage.
I'm all about that kind of thing. So let's talk geeky stuff because again, you're into gaming and you're into comics, I understand as well.
I am.
What would you say that your I like it. I've been asking this a lot more lately because certain people have got me thinking about this, and representation is huge for us.
Oh my god, yes. Growing
up, and especially for you, you'll have a slightly different experience potentially. Mm-hmm. What was I know you're like a little younger, maybe a lot more younger. I don't know.
Yes, I'm a nice fresh 30. Thank you.
Oh my god. Stop it. What was one of the first moments of representation for you? It could be movies, TV, or any media really, but like what was that first thing where you're like, that's me, I see myself right there in any way.
In any way. Okay, so I remember the exact moment, okay?
It can be one of several or whatever.
So it was way back in like the early 90s. I'm probably like 94, 95, right? And Nickelodeon had this new show coming out called My Brother and Me. And I remember watching it, and it's like this black family, this black, nuclear family, and it's a story about like the main kid and like his older brother and like his family and his older sister. And like, I was like, wow, watching it, I'm like, wow, this is literally me and my brother. Like we fight like this, we argue like this, we scheme behind our mom's back like this. Like this is like the first, so I'm like, wow, this is me on television. Like I see myself. And yeah, so that was the very first like big moment that I saw. I was like, wow, I'm represented. It was many, many, many years before I saw more stuff like this in the mainstream, like on shows like Nickelodeon or Disney or like whatever, But to have that so early in the 90s on like a major like children's network was mind-blowing.
That's awesome. I've never seen that show, but honestly, I probably started watching those networks when I was probably like or a couple of years prior as I was getting done with high school. But no, that's great. And I mean, I'm so glad that kids today are growing up with so many things.
It's crazy. Like I'm watching my nephew watch stuff, and I was like, wow, he can flip to whatever channel he wants to find a cartoon with a kid that looks like him.
So you're an uncle. I'm an uncle.
Yes.
My younger brother has a child, and you're younger or older?
Brother? Older brother.
Okay. Has children or just a one-off?
Just the one. Okay. He has one kid right now.
It's okay. We don't right now. Honestly, the way things are going, I think that's a good number.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love it. I'm like, yeah, thank God.
So yeah, I agree though. Like seeing the things that but I'm jealous of the toys they have. I just got my nephew the Mario. The
Mario Lego thing?
Lego one, yeah.
I want that so bad.
Like, if you had told my little 18, my little 15, 16, whatever age, honestly, if you had told me last year there was going to be a Lego Nintendo mashup and it was going to be something like it is now, I would have lost my mind. I would be like, 2020 is the best. I can't wait.
Oh, my God.
And then I would have been smacked in the face by that time traveler. What do you remember from your childhood though that like kind of pushed you maybe towards the geekier things, and was there any like comics or video games that like when you were a little younger like that really kind of grabbed you?
Yeah, so fun, like weirdly enough, my dad, I would say my dad and my uncle, so my mom's brother and then my dad. Growing up, like my dad had he had an NES. I don't remember it. Like I guess my uncles took it and never gave it back. But we had a Sega Genesis. And I remember just like little like under like 4 or 5 year old me just like playing Sonic the Hedgehog like one forever. And then my dad got Mortal Kombat 2. I think that's came on the Genesis. And I was playing that, and I was like, Raiden is my favorite character because I learned how to teleport. And so I remember one day vividly, I was playing against my dad, and I kept teleporting and like charging through the screen at him. And he got so mad. He looked at me like he wanted to hit me because I was whooping his ass, but he didn't. So he never played with me ever again. So I had to learn how to play Mortal Kombat by myself. I did learn at like 6 years old how to do fatalities, so that's great. Yeah, whatever. It didn't shape me who I am today at all.
It's funny though because like I hear so many people, and myself included, who played really violent video games as kids and have absolutely no violent tendencies. So much so that when I even joked about getting a gun recently, because craziness, shenanigans. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not a thing I can do. I just
no.
So two things reminded me of when you were saying and talking about like the Sega experience and then Mortal Kombat. Have you seen High Score on Netflix?
It's the new documentary, right? I have not seen it yet.
Highly recommend. You got to watch it because I think you're going to really love a couple of the episodes that they touch on that. And the other one I'll tell you about is Dad of Light. It is a Japanese, it's not sitcom really, but series about Final Fantasy 14. And what reminded me of your story is it's about a son, and in this case, a son who gets his dad into gaming on Final Fantasy 14. So that dynamic is something that I have basically no experience with. My father, I did have like, Atari, Sega, all the early consoles, but my dad didn't play. My mom actually played for a hot second, Super Mario Brothers, but that was it, like once just to try it. But I think it's really cool that you got into gaming with your father. Like that's a cool story and a cool way to sort of have that shared experience.
Yeah, I remember. God, when we got a Sega Saturn, he played Daytona 500.
Oh my God,
forever. And then
the Saturn is so overlooked in
it's such a good system. So many great games. Like Tomb Raider, come on now, with Laura's crazy like triangle boobs.
So when you watched that as a kid, as a young queer child, were you like, oh, she's so sexy, or were you like, those features do not look right?
Exactly. I was like, she looks weird. But I remember so vividly, just like it's like the first, second level, you're just like running around like this weird throw up green room, which must be a jungle, running away from like the boxiest tiger ever. And we're just like side flipping while shooting, and then like going back to her mansion, just going swimming for hours, just like diving off the board. And I was just, like
living the life.
And I was like, I want to be this lady. Like she seems so cool.
And that's the thing. Like queer kids see themselves in women, of course, obviously, but like we see ourselves in that Tomb Raider. But the guys are all about looking at her ass and her triangle boobs. So comics, because I know you're into comics as well. Like around that same time, maybe earlier, what were some of your early comic book memories?
So my uncle, my mom's brother, got me into comics too. He also games, but he got me into comics as well. So I remember reading. Oh God, I remember he had like super old issues of like Spider-Man, like starting from like the 70s and like 60s, like that old.
Wow.
And we're like reading some of those, and then I remember reading X-Men, and he had the first issue where Storm was there. And so I was like, who is this white-haired literal goddess? Like, I was asking about him, and then we would watch the X-Men animated series together.
Of course.
And I was, cause like, my uncle lives in New York, so me and my brother would fly down to New York and go visit my mom's side of the family during the summer. And so we just like hang out with him. He would come over, we'd watch whatever new fun nerdy thing he was into that summer. Like he was the one that got me into anime because I didn't watch anime before.
Oh, your uncle sounds amazing.
He is so cool.
I hope this is okay. So this is your job now as an uncle. I fully have signed up for this as well. Mm-hmm. My brother's got pretty good influences. Like I think overall he's going to do a good job. But on the off chance he misses certain things, I'm ready to go.
Oh my gosh, nephew. Me too.
Yeah,
me too. I'm like, because what's cool about him, my nephew, he's super smart, super sweet, and he just likes everything like nerdy. So right now he's like super into watching like Among Us videos because people love to see the discourse in their friend group. Like it's like, hey, that's hilarious. I think you guys are friends, but I don't think you'll be friends after this anymore. And then I remember, oh god, years ago when he was like, I want to say like 8, one of my phone cases was like the original Game Boy. Oh. And so I was at my brother's house and I had my phone down and he was like, what's that? Well, that's my phone. He was like, no, what's on your case? And I was like, it's a Game Boy. He's like, what's that? And I said, ugh. I was like, all right, I need to teach you some things. And so
the kids not having those memories of having the Game Boy. I mean, like they don't care. That doesn't matter to them. But I love that they're interested. That's awesome. Yeah.
He was like, what is this? And like weird fun, like me and my brother never threw away any of our old consoles. So like they're just sitting in a box in my parents' old house. My brother was living there now. He bought their house. And I was like, hold on. So I went out to the garage and I pulled out all the old game systems. I was like, this is this. This is that. I was like, this is an N64 controller. No one knows why it's shaped like that. It just is. So
the N64 controller, by the way, as bizarrely shaped as it was compared to other controllers, is still probably one of the best experiences.
Yeah.
Because of that middle piece, which is in no way, shape, or form phallic. I'm sure you've never considered that at all. But you're gripping that middle piece there. And then the thing on the right, like the modern controllers are great. I think they found a little more of a nice shape that works, but that was probably one of my favorite controllers.
Oh yeah, like you can't talk about like controllers or like who's the best controller out there without even mentioning Nintendo's stupid, crazy controllers like the N64. Even the GameCube was like a weird controller to look at because it's like it had the same like 2-handle thing, but it had the all the buttons on top. I think it was the first one that had like the R1, L1 triggers and like the little bumpers up top. They had that. Yep. Their weird little yellow, whatever. The yellow stick, whatever. It's great. And it's funny because you can't find original GameCube controllers anymore because the Smash community, like they play Melee, which is the Smash on the GameCube. Like those are the best controllers for that game, for the game in general, because it's just like everything moves so well. And you cannot find a actual Nintendo GameCube controller anymore because they stopped making them.
I still have a remote, and I just fired up my old GameCube, which by the way, optical drive completely shot, doesn't play any games.
Oh no!
But I made sure it works. Otherwise, I mean, you can get the that thing. But the controller works, and you can use it on the Wii.
You can.
I was like, well, at least now I can play with the that GameCube controller. But yeah, that's I am fascinated when I go online and I look for certain older like NES or not NES as much, but the GameCube and the Wii, both those eras, like a lot of stuff is so hard to come by.
So hard to get. It's so expensive. Like my friend's boyfriend, he used to or still kind of does play Smash professionally. And she's looking for a GameCube controller for him. And she's like, I can't find one that's under $300 anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. It's that insane.
Even used, they're like
even
going
used, yes.
Gosh. I gotta go on eBay and be like, how much could I get for this?
You can probably get like if it's in good condition, you can probably get a pretty good penny for it.
Wow. wow, I gotta check this out. So comics. We did start talking about comics. We talked about Spider-Man,
Oh, yes.
Storm, which
yes.
we should at least mention the fact that we do stream Fortnite, both of us occasionally, and usually it's me bugging you to do Fortnite because you're not otherwise as big on it. You're one of the old school Fortnite fans.
Yeah, I played Fortnite day one, and I played for like a good 2 years, I think. And then finally I was like, I can't, I'm so bad at building. It's just like, it became build wars. And I was like, okay, I can't do
like,
this.
So I want to mention that, and I want to come back to that because we will talk about Fortnite more. But Fortnite now has Marvel characters in it. They do. If you have the Battle Pass, you get the different characters, and they're called skins. And Storm, in several outfits, including her iconic mohawk leather jacket out. Like, that is, in fact, I just got it. It's like in the level 60s or something. So yes, Storm, very iconic for you. Who else? Marvel, or did you get into DC much, or mostly just Marvel?
I did. Okay. So it's funny. Like, I in my heart of hearts, I want to say Marvel fangirl all the way, but I really think my soul really belongs to DC, because growing up, you had the Batman animated series, which was in my opinion, one of the best comic book shows of all time.
100%.
Because it gave us Harley Quinn first and foremost, who is fantastic. I love Harley Quinn, everything she does. It's like the voice acting is so iconic in there. Mark Hamill being the Joker, what? And so DC is probably where it's more at for me, for I enjoy the stories more, but character wise, it's all Marvel. The Marvel characters just are so, because I feel like they're more rounded, they're more diverse, and with where they really come from and things like that. So Storm is a really big influence on me. I love Phoenix, not Jean Grey, but Phoenix.
Rachel.
Yes. Love her so much.
Did you read Excalibur, or what was your...
I started it, I didn't finish it.
Okay.
That's a problem with me. A lot of my comics, I started them, I just don't ever finish them, because buying comics get expensive now.
The way the storytelling honestly works with comics nowadays is you don't have to... There's no finishing. It's an ongoing continuity, so you could dip in and out whenever the hell you want.
Okay.
But yeah, Excalibur was my thing with Rachel. She was, she predates that, but Alan Davis and Chris Claremont, they're early Excalibur, not even early, most of Excalibur is their work, and it's Rachel's prominently featured. And I will say, are you reading, or I'll ask you and then we'll talk about it. Are you reading any of the more recent comics, or have you kind of...
No, I need to get back into the X-Men ones, because one of my favorite artists I follow on Twitter, Jen Bartel, she did a cover for the new X-Men and Storm, and the petals, and I was like, okay, you got me again, because I stopped reading religiously after the last Marvel Secret War. So when the two universes collided, I was reading it, and then I had a pull box and everything in my local shop, and then there came a day where I was like, I don't think I can't do it anymore. It's havoc on my wallet every week or month or however long. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll probably find them. I'll probably get the comic thing online and just read them there, and I never did. I regret it so much, because I was reading the Angela Witch Hunter, which, if you don't know who Angela is, she's probably the most badass Marvel woman of all time. I know they say Gamora is the most dangerous woman in the universe, but no, it's Angela.
I wish I knew you loved her so much, because I actually just, before I moved out here to Seattle, I had her first appearance. I would have sent it to you.
Oh my god!
But I sold my entire... So comic books, same thing. You eventually hit a wall where you're like, you know what? I don't want to spend $50 a week. I can't. It's too much. I just I love the story. I love the stories, and I'm buying a few now. Basically X-Men books. But yeah, you hit that wall. You're like, I gotta stop. And then there's moments, there's big events where everything changes. You're like, now is my chance to step off the train.
Yeah. So like once the Secret Wars ended, I was like, all right, I think I'm going to take a break for a while.
I will say X-Men is worth dipping back into, though.
Okay. I'll get back into it.
The same writer who did Secret Wars or Battle, the whole, what's it called? Battle World, Battle something. But anyway, Secret Wars. Jonathan Hickman is writing the X books, or at least he's writing the main X book, and they just started this whole new series called 10 of Swords. I always say X of Swords, but it's the Roman numeral 10.
Oh, okay.
And Rachel is featured in it, not hugely prominently, but she's in it, and she does I think a fair bit, and she may do more. I don't know. It's early days. But what's amazing now, as like I'm a Scott Summers Cyclops fan, right? That's like
I can't.
What?
I can't.
What?
I can't. We all know that Scott Summers Cyclops is the worst. You could not sit here and tell me that he did not do some diabolical shit.
Okay. There is an era of Cyclops that I basically have like kind of hidden or like mentally blocked.
You're like, that doesn't exist. Like I don't see her.
The era of the X on his face, that whole era that Brian Michael Bendis basically wrote. I understand it. I get where they were doing. I understand the motivations. But to me, that was never Cyclops. I always kind of went, this is a thing that I'm just going to let it go, and whatever, it's fine. But the Cyclops that I grew up with, which I think is what you also grew up with, was from the cartoon, and from the 90s with X Factor and X-Men as well, Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix, the whole relationship that he had with Cable and Jean Grey, and then all that. So to that point, what I was getting to is the current incarnation. I don't know how much you know about this, but let me tell you. Cyclops has a house on the moon, the blue area of the moon, right? Where Jean died. Lives there with his whole family. It's called like the Summers house or something, House of Summers. So Jean's there, he is there, Nathan, young Cable, which that's a whole thing. Young Cable's annoying, whatever. Rachel, Cyclops' brother Havoc, and his other brother, their brother Vulcan.
I forgot he existed. Oh
right, God. They bring him back.
Okay.
And I haven't got to the best part. Tell me if you know this. Wolverine lives there with them.
Are they having a throuple?
So it is largely assumed, and it is not discouraged by the writers whatsoever. In fact, they play with it more than anything. Because if you look at, they actually have a map of the Summers house. There's Scott's room on one side. Then there's Jean's room in the middle. And then there's Logan's room on the other side.
Look, let me tell you right now, if those two are getting pegged, then they're doing it wrong. They're doing it wrong. To be a fly in the room, just like, look.
And Jean and Scott have been like not overly like together. They've had a few moments. But Wolverine gets a moment with Jean in the hot tub after a mission in the X-Force book. And yes, like I love it. This is the era of all X fans like wet dreams. Like all of the things that you ever wanted to see. I want to see Cyclops team up with Apocalypse. You got it. I want to see Mr. Sinister get to like have some cool Machiavellian crazy shit, but be a good guy. Done. I want to see Charles Xavier with his crazy ass helmet and sword, but he's not in a wheelchair and he's kicking ass. And and by the way, mutants can't die. They all get rezzed because that's a thing. Like, 100% worth it. But you got to start from the beginning. So anyway, this is devolving into X talk, which could go on for a while, I feel like. But no,
I could talk about X-Men forever.
We will have to revisit this in a future conversation because I do want you to read this. I do want you to check it out and see what you think. But steering it back to you, because this is an interview for you and about you, is there any mutants, DC, any of that stuff that influences your drag, or have you ever thought about like trying to work that in, or is that...
So I have so for my birthday in August, my friend got me a gift card to Wigs and Grace, right? And I was like, high quality wigs, perfect. And so I'm flipping through, and I'm sitting with her. I'm like, hey, you know, what do you think I should get? You know, this is your gift card. You didn't know what she was like. I would have gotten you one that I liked, but I didn't know if you're gonna like it too. So I was gonna here's a gift card. I was like, okay, whatever. Let's look at it together. We're looking, and I was like, I think I want like a shorter wig because all my wigs I have are like long. And then I was flipping through, and then I stopped and saw this like huge white wig. And I was like, that's fucking Storm. Do I gotta do a Storm look now? Is this gonna happen? Okay, sure, why not? So I bought this wig and I was like, okay, now which Storm am I gonna do? Am I do like classic 90s Storm? Am I gonna do like, you know, with the huge hair? Am I gonna do, you know, Days of Future Past Mohawk Storm? And I was like, you know, so I have this wig, and I'm also trying to do like an Ursula look as well. She also has white hair. So I'm like, I can do this wig how many times I want to because I can like wash it and restyle it as many times as I need to because it's high quality wig. And so that's on the horizon. Some form of Storm look. I don't know which one yet. Which is funny because a couple weeks ago, before the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman, on stream, I did like a African inspired look. So I had like, you know, like the white dots on my face and the lines and things like that because I had, yeah, right there. Perfect. So I did that and I was like, damn, can I do this and incorporate like Storm's look into it?
Ooh.
Probably.
Ooh,
you know,
yes,
right?
that's a great idea.
So if I could like find, you know, at some point when she's like in Wakanda with T'Challa, just like
they were married forever, right?
Exactly. Like she's literally the queen of Wakanda, Africa, Mother Nature, like whatever. And so I'm like, if I can incorporate some kind of look from that era into doing this kind of look, like perfect. Like my mom's a seamstress and she can only make an outfit. She has all these African prints and things like that. So I'm super excited. Hopefully she does soon.
Does she make any of your outfits or is she like volunteered?
I have to coerce her into helping me. But like most of the times, like me with her sitting there judging what I do and like correcting it afterwards, which is fine. Which is fine because I was like, I need to learn anyways, you know. Because whenever I'm going to like, okay, cool, I'm making a whole outfit from scratch myself, you know, like I know I would know what to do. And so the very first thing I made was like this like denim skirt. I was going to do this cute little like denim skirt, you know, plaid moment, and the skirt ended up being too big, and it was too late to put an elastic band in it because it would look weird up top, and I was like, you know, whatever. So I have to re-alter that sometime soon, but I'm learning.
We have only mentioned Drag Race,
yes.
But your comments reminded me of the idea that some queens, when they start out, they're like, oh, yeah, I would do Drag Race down the road. If you even considered the option, a possibility.
I most definitely have considered it.
Uh-huh.
Drag Race, or honestly, if I'm not scary enough or like whatever, but Dragula also sounds like so much fun. Like I've interacted a lot with Bitch Pudding, who won season 2 of Dragula, on her Twitch channel.
Oh,
and
cool.
So yeah, so she's part of this team called the Stream Queens, where my friend Kyoshi's a part of. I'm meeting all these fabulous queens through there on Twitch, and they're like super supportive, and I can apply whenever to be on the team as well. But I feel like I'm gonna wait until I can get like a solid, you know, I want to say fan base, but my own like tribe. My own like follower tribe, you know, community. That's what I'm like, my own community. That's what I'm looking for.
So specifically around Twitch, because you also do makeup. You don't just game, but you also do makeup. And
I do, Twitch. Yeah. I have a couple of streams I've started off, so, you know, putting my face on whatever, but I end up doing it too long because I end up talking to everyone. But I might go back to it later. I mean, who knows? You know, maybe.
I think for a lot of, you never know who you're inspiring. You have,
true.
With Twitch, there's so many people out there who are just they're thirsty for content and not that way.
Are
so that you're putting out good stuff. And so for the gaming side, you have you're affiliate now, I believe. Correct?
I am an affiliate now. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
I remember
you.
Working on that. I don't remember what the next is. It partner is the next level.
Next one after is partner, but partner is like very hard to get.
Yeah, and we were talking about this before because at one point we were going to do a little co-streaming thing, and when I started looking into it, I was like, "Oh God, this is complicated." And to do it through Twitch itself, it's like you got to be a partner, and it's like,
Yeah, they make it super difficult to do. Honestly, anything there, but once you
yeah.
get used to it, it's like nothing. It's like your job, but that you actually like to go to.
Yeah, and I do want to do more with it. So I'm very encouraged by you. Knowing you, of course, has inspired me to start. I mean, I don't think if I hadn't known you doing it, I don't know if I would have had someone to ask questions to. So like hitting you up, like, how do you do this?
Oh,
But
yeah.
also just, I don't know if I would have been like, okay, fine. Because I follow people on there. I watch this guy, Greg, who does How to Drink, some great, D&D and mixology stuff. But, and Trixie for a while was doing a lot of stuff on Twitch when she was gaming more. But yeah,
no, cosmetics line not doing anything. So
well, yeah.
I mean, she's doing fantastic though. So
she's got plenty on her plate, right? But with you and Twitch, so you do like Among Us a lot lately?
I play a lot of Among Us. I play a lot of Dead by Daylight because the gays have taken Dead by Daylight, but for themselves.
Yeah,
I honestly feel like at this point they make the game and updates for the gays that play it. Because it's just like the gays love this stupid ass game, and I love it too. I wasn't really into it before. Like I got really into it playing with friends on here. So playing Among Us a lot, playing a lot of Dead by Daylight. I was playing a little bit of Apex Legends on there too, which is one of my favorite battle royales. Mostly because of like the gameplay, whatever. I call it like the gay Call of Duty Warzone because it's like the same thing but just like colorful.
Yes,
you have these fun powers, but what's great about it is that they represent the LGBT community like very well. So there's a character in there, Gibraltar. He's this big Hawaiian Samoan guy like representing, and he's gay as hell. Like his backstory, he has like a tragic gay backstory where like he lost his boyfriend when there's a huge flood where he lived, whatever, and right? But he's gay as hell. And then they have another character, Bloodhound, who is non-binary. And you never actually like get to see behind their mask or like their voice is like distorted. So you're like, oh, they sound like a man. Oh, they sound like a woman. I can't tell who they are. And so I love that. And then they have said that there are other LGBT characters in the game that haven't revealed them yet. So I'm like, oh, one plays game to freaking find out who's gay or not,
That is so cool, and I need to try that game. Every time I've watched you play it, Brandon and I both are like, oh God, that's too complicated.
Look, there's less going on in there than there is in Fortnite.
I don't know that you're telling the truth here because Fortnite is so simple, but at the same time, the first time I played Fortnite was probably about a year ago, and it was like, oh my God, there's so much crap going on. It's
yeah.
I mean, old man gaming here. Like, I grew up playing adventure games and the old NES stuff, and so learning about the Battle Royale system. Actually, the Battle Royale that I'm playing a lot, which I actually should Twitch stream as well. Super Mario 35.
How is that? I wanted to play it.
It is exactly, other than with a few additions, playing Super Mario Brothers, but only certain levels.
Okay.
But the trick is figuring out what the mechanics that you want to do to like affect other players and strategy, and I have done none of that. So I
just like
okay.
Having fun.
Yeah, no, and I'm an old man playing a game that I grew up like when I was like my teen years or younger, even playing like with my brother and my mom. So like that part alone is fun, but it's also cool that you can see all the other people playing. But it's Battle Royale style, and Fall Guys, of course, for that hot second that we were all into Fall Guys.
Oh my God. Look, Fall Guys is really fun. There's a lot wrong with the game.
Yes.
But I had a great time playing Fall Guys. I never
won. To watch.
It's so fun to watch. It's like, oh no, they fucked up.
I just think that the crowd dynamics in that game are enough to make me hate people. Like, if I didn't already have a really bad view of people as a society right now, I think playing Fall Guys really would make that happen.
People just sit at the end and just like hold you back or like push you off on purpose. You're just like, look, bro, I am this cute little bean character. Let me have some fun. Like, what the fuck?
It's maddening and insulting and just like, I just want to throw the controller. Whereas at least Fortnite, I know I'm playing with like children, and I'm basically shooting and killing children. However, I don't actually ever have to hear them as children, so I can sort of abstract that they're like just whatever, whoever playing it. But Fall Guys is somehow worse because they're just these cute little creatures, and like you said, they're just. So before we wrap up here, because I know that we're talking about maybe going on and doing some streaming now as well.
Yeah.
Where would on the internets people find you?
Well, on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Aphasia Speaks. So find me on there. I usually stream Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and then Friday. So it depends on how my week is going, either the Wednesday or Thursday. You can find me on my Twitter, which I'm very active on. It's at Aphasia Speaks. And then on Instagram, you can find me there as Queen_Aphasia.
So I will have all of those on the show notes for this so they can find you. And again, I think we're thinking about, in here in a little bit, maybe take a little break, but shortly thereafter, maybe playing, I don't know, what we have to figure out what we're playing. But if you go over to Aphasia Speaks on Twitch, I will be there in the audience and potentially also playing along with some of the games. So if anybody's watching and wants to, jump in and play around, let's do this. Let's have some fun. And thank you so much for sitting down. We covered a lot, and I know there's a lot more I wanted to maybe talk about, so we may have to do a part 2 at some point.
Oh, I would absolutely love that.
Maybe we'll celebrate your meteoric rise either as a partner on Twitch or as a queen hosting her own night.
Look, either one sound great to me, honestly.
I think both are very achievable, and I'm excited to see what you do with your.
I can only go from here in 2020, so
it's all up from here, right?
It has to be, Oh
my God! Don't jinx it. It's pointless.
Look. Go vote, kids. Okay,
right.
Look, I'm only 30 years old. I voted in 2 elections in my lifetime. Go vote, please. This man is crazy. I don't know if you guys saw the Republican agenda behind marriage and how they're talking about gay marriage, and they don't care about the Supreme Court ruling on it. It's bonkers. They're trying to kill everyone out here that does not look like them. And so go vote. Your vote matters. Make sure you're registered to vote as soon as possible. I know a couple states are this is your deadline.
Florida's deadline is today. Florida's deadline was today, but I believe if you submit your paperwork today, even if it's got a postmark or it's, in the whatever. Yes, the next month will be so exciting. And
I just can't. Oh man, I know Joe Biden's no one's first choice ever, but look,
he's a safe bet for undoing a lot of this nonsense and keeping some. You know what'll be nice with Joe Biden? I will say this, and we got to wrap. It will be very quiet, and people won't really be freaking out every day about his nonsense. That'll be the best part about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
true.
Can't wait. Quiet news days for once. It'd be fantastic.
Oh my God! It's what's going on today? Nothing.
Man, can you imagine?
Joe Biden wore khaki pants like Obama did. Oh no!
Oh my God! The tan suit.
Oh my God.
Anyway, all right. Well, Aphasia Speaks on Twitch. We're gonna go check that out now here in a second. So go on over to Twitch TV, Aphasia Speaks, and let's play some games.
Let's do it.
Thanks again.
Thank you for having me. Bye.